Hello, everybody. Let's start off by shaking our hands, shuffling your feet. Today we're going to be doing a whole bunch of different stuff over our 25-minute class. And as we start to do that, I'd like you to understand the main focus is on blocking today and the different kinds of blocking. Good. So we're just going to do all sorts of stuff here just to loosen up. Nice. From here, just rolling back fists from your opposite shoulder. Good. Nice. Remember at the end, you're breaking the wrist down, so you're bending or flexing that wrist. You're hitting with those two big knuckles. Nice. Rolling hands out in front. Good. Change direction. Nice. Light uppercuts, please. Good job. Now, when you do your uppercut, make sure the ball heel exchange is pulling you to the center line before you start to strike up. And then when you're striking up, there's definitely flexion in the shoulder and the arm, but it's mostly coming from the legs. Good. Now, overhand crosses. So start with your hand up. You're starting to punch with your fist with the thumb on top, but then you lift up that elbow and drive it in with the thumb down below. So overhand crosses. Just to loosen up them shoulders. Good. Excellent. Nice. Now shovel punches like you're shoveling snow. Ready? And hopefully that's over with by now. But go ahead. Shovel punches. Bring your hand back to that center line. Set it up. Come up at a 45. Drive off your back leg. Drive off the back leg. Good. And shuffle your feet. Shaking out your hands. Nice. Hopping from side to side. Front, back. Feet in and out. And crisscrossing your feet. Well done. Right into your V-step. Hands are up. Good job. Now, reverse V. Coming back to neutral. Reverse V. Good. Diagonal. Top left. Bottom right. Top left. Bottom right. Now, we're going to start to add in a little kick. So I go top, bottom, back kick. Top, bottom, back kick. Back and forth. Good. That's it. Nice. And back to a hip twist. Good. Excellent. From here, right back to V. Good. High rising kick. We're going to start off low and go across our body a little more. So start coming up to your shoulder. We're going to stretch across our body here. Go to the opposite hand. Good. So right leg into your opposite hand. You're really kicking up towards the opposite shoulder as Instructor Brad's doing. Let's do 3 more. And 1, 2. Last one, change sides. Good, same thing. Going across the body. Good. 3 more. Do this exercise a lot. You really stretch out those hamstrings. And puck, change sides. Good. Okay, so from here, we're going to go step and glide forward. As we step and glide forward, front snap kick. We're going to come back. As soon as we come back, we're going to kick with the same leg, driving it back. Step and glide forward, back kick. Step and glide forward, back kick. On the back kick, you can look down through your armpit, drape your head over your shoulder. All right, either way, good. So we're just kicking with the same leg. Glide step forward. Sometimes you can look like you're doing a skip in. And ideally, you should get a nice kind of motion going. So we're skipping in here, pop, come back, and then drive off that back leg. Good. Nice. And puck watching sides. Good. Now same thing on the right leg. Kicking with the right leg twice. Skip in, front snap. Step down, back kick. Good, good. Here we go. Nicely done. One more time. Good, and whoa. Excellent. Shake out the legs a little bit. Good. We're going to go into a whole variation of our point kick. We're going to start off with the one that's closest typically, which is our cut kick. So we're going to be bringing up our knee. As we bring up our knee, we're going to keep our leg bent at about 90 degrees, and then we're going to rotate everything in. And we're hitting with the leg still bent. We're hitting with the shin, the tibia. Good, so there's no extension on the end until after you've hit, and then you can extend down and push. But right now, just to keep it simple, no extension. So let's take a look at this. Instructor Brad's going to face me, go left leg back, please. He's going to cut kick this leg. As he drops in, boom, that's right there. The leg does not extend at this point. unless he's caved me in, and then he can extend me to take me further. So watch a few cut kicks, and he hits me here. Whoa, nice. Comes in. You notice I'm trying to turn and ball exchange, so I'm taking that kick. Good. Excellent. Now, can you just go puck off, sir? Good. Thank you. Now, if you watch my cut kick as you do it along with us, you'll notice that sometimes a cut kick also has an up and down motion with the body. So the body driving in. So I'm coming up high and then flexing that leg. Sometimes it's more just hips really quick, coming in as strong as you can to snap those hips. All right, so as we face the camera, let's do a few more. Ready, right leg is back. This is a type of point kick. Hitting with your shin, cut kick, ready and hana. And boom. And set. And net. If you have a bag at home, something you can hit, this is much easier to do on something that you can actually make contact with. Good, and put wachisas. And hana. Notice the hands are kept up and on either side of the body. Sit. Knit. And toss it. Good, good. Okay, everyone. Run it back, please. 2B. Okay, we're going to go into our opposite point kick. Another point kick variation. This time, instead of the action happening from the outside and coming into the middle, it's going to go across the center line and into the outside. So let's start off first with the most basic one and work up to advance. So we go cross crane first, then kick, back to cross crane and back in our stance. Let's do that again. Cross crane, kick out, hitting with the top of the ankle or the shin. Now I'm going to let my hips make a circle. How's that kick? Good. Ready and high. And boom. And set. Now, if you watch this from a side view, Instructor Brad is, can you face me, sir? He's going to take up into my hand. So if this was my face, he's easily hitting my head here with that ankle. And if he had just thrown a point kick here, and then as he starts to throw the next one, it can really throw us off. So now let's go to the next opposite point kick, and that being off the front leg. So to start off with the most basic, we go to cross crane again. So we go cross crane, opposite point, and then back down. Ready, and boom. And set. And net. Good. And now we're going to do the opposite point kick from your front leg. I'll do it off my right side. All I'm going to do is lift it up, fire it out, come back down again. So let's alternate legs now. So front leg, opposite point. Good. Nicely done. There we go. Good. And bro. Awesome. So now the next opposite point kick we're going to do is really common. It's a skip in opposite point kick. So let's go left leg back to start with. Left leg is back. Right leg is forward. I'm going to do a replacement step to start with. Opposite point. Next one, I'm going to do a skip in, which means I can go past that point of my foot to get even more distance in. Go ahead, sir. So you can see the amount of distance that Instructor Brad can cover with that big skip in. We really cover a lot of distance. This is a kick he really likes with sparring. Good, nice. And fuck watch each side. Ready, and hana. There's just a replacement step. There's a skip in. Good, let's do that one more time. Replacement, shorter distance range, skip in, want to cover more distance. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to a point kick instead of the opposite point kick. We're going to go back from outside to inside, but we're going to be kicking really low. And as we do this kick, as we kick low, we are going to turn our hips. So at the very end of the kick, the hips are stacked. But it's a very low, fast point kick. It's designed, if you're actually doing this towards each other, he's aiming for my knee most of the time. And on the street, that knee then gets bent, ligaments on the medial side get stretched or torn. It's pretty nasty. So that's why I got to get used to when the kick comes in to turn. So when my knee gets hit, everything flows in the bend, a natural bend of the knee. If I get caught flat-footed, then I'm going to probably lose my knee. In classes, we tend to target up higher. So if anything goes wrong, we just leave a bruise rather than dysfunction in the knee. Good. All right, so let's do a few of those. So facing the camera, we're going to start off with low point, where at the end, we're kind of turning the hip, then we switch our feet in the air. So let's look at that again. Right leg is back. I'm going to kick and then switch my feet. 1, switch. Then same thing on the other side, and switch. Good. Now you watch Instructor Brad, his switch is much smoother than mine. His head is level. He's not bobbing up and down. This is really important. Good, keep going until you feel sweat trickling down your forehead. Good, good. Nicely done, and shake it out, please. All right, so now we're gonna go back to another point kick, and this one is PGD. PGD is a 45-degree point kick. Now we do not stack the hips at any point during the kick. And you'll notice that our support leg or support foot does a minimal twisting. So we end up being able to face our opponent. So my whip kick is here, and I still have both my hands. Whereas if I do a point kick and stack my hips at the end of the kick, typically I only have one hand to hit with, the lead hand. So watch here as we do 45s coming from the ground into the target. Target is a few fingers above the knee or the knee itself, then into the hip, and then into the floating ribs, underneath the armpit. You can even do PGD targeting to the head. Now, of course, we talk about kicking at head height because head height is actually something that improves our flexibility and adds some fun. However, for actual self-defense, kicking that high allows your opponent or your attacker to block your kick more easily. All right, so let's say, for example, Instructor Brad's right leg back, and he does a peachy gi to my leg here. It's fast, it's quick, he's got his hands up, he can strike. But now, watch what happens when he does a point kick from that position. Now he's turned. Even if I take the kick and it's a hard kick, if I'm able to handle it by maybe twisting my foot, I have a better position. So it's not that one kick is better than the other, it's just that PGD allows you to keep facing your opponent quite effectively. All right, so now we're gonna go to our next kick, which is the spinning opposite point kick. We're gonna break it down. So let's start off here where you're gonna step across and point your ankle, or your heel, I should say, towards your target. So I step across. Notice I'm in what's called narrow kneel. From here, if I take my right foot and lift up the ball and pivot on the heel, I end up in what we call open X stance. So now I'll come back. Good. So we're now facing the camera again. So left leg, or in this case, left leg steps up, steps across. We plant, narrow kneel stance. If I open up to here, that's open X stance. All right. From this position, I spin and I just do a spinning knee, coming back into my stance. Okay, so again, basic is step across, lift up your knee, spin, come back to your stance. Again, we're going to start to now break it down a bit more. I'm going to go sideways so you can see me. Instead of stepping across like this and the weight's equal, when I start to spin, I get carried forward. What I'd like you to do is you step across, is you angle, you get your head out of the way. So now my head is over top of my kicking leg. From here, when I push off with the kicking leg, my head tries to stay still back from your opponent. This is one of the beauties of an opposite point kick. Imagine Instructor Brad, he throws, let's say, a cross punch at me, and I'm blocking it here, getting my head out of the way, and then from here, I power in to do the kick. All right, so let's start off by doing it in stages. Ready? And left foot steps across, heel pointing towards target. Right chin, not my right chin, probably my right hand on chin. My chin drapes over my right shoulder. Good. From here, power up my right leg, spin my knee around. Now this time, Instructor Brad's going to let his leg go up. So as he does his kick, he steps across, lets the leg extend out. One more time, please, sir. Nice. Good. Now, let's say your opponent, in this case, Instructor Brad, can be a little bit further away so he can kick. In this case, he steps off to my offside. That's my offside because now I have to square up. If he was back here and he stepped into my onside, he's stepping into my punching area. But he steps towards my back. From here, I don't need to step across. From here, I can just say, oh, you stepped into my opposite point kick. And so I come around with that kick. Okay, everybody, right back to Zoom B. High belts, practice not moving your foot, kicking at a 45. Beginner belts, practice spinning knee. Everybody else, spinning opposite point with your leg extending. You're going to be hitting with your lateral or outside malleolus or ankle bone. Good. Make sure that your toes are up and they're facing the ceiling. Good, nicely done. And we'll shake it up. Good job, everyone. Okay, we're now into blocking. And we're gonna start off with, my partner's gonna throw a couple punches at me, and I'm just doing deflective blocks. Good, so let's start off with that. Deflective blocks are your cross palm. They're your inside forearm. Good, they're your reverse brush. Good, they're your elliptical. They're deflective. Elliptical, coming out in a nice flattened circle. Good, and just deflecting it, nice. Good, all right. High elbow, low hand. You can deflect it here, but if you don't turn your hip, you just deflect it into your face. So you've got to turn that hip. So there's another deflective kind of block. Good. Let's go to our wing block. Wing is not considered too much deflective as it's just trying to absorb the impact. So that, you know, I throw my hook at my partner, and as he starts to block, you're absorbing the impact. All right? Good. So now that is just a block. So when we're stopping it, that's what we call a block. So let's go to our wing block, jamming form, jamming form. Good. These are just pure blocks. Nice. Good. Now let's look at a pass. So my partner's going to hammer fist me in the nose, and I could do a block here, which is a straight block, and there's no deflection. I'm just trying to stop it. All right? But he's bigger than me, so it'll end up probably happening like this, and I still get smoked. So now we go to a pass. I just add energy to it and step out to the outside. I could just do this, but I'm going to do a V-step to help myself and get to the outside. Helps with joint lock and helps with other things. So here comes the pass again. One, my partner passes me. Good, back and forth. If you have a brother or sister that you don't have to practice social distancing with. Good, then this is a nice little drill you can do. Now, as we get better at the drill, watch the hips. Real good ball heel exchange. I'm just trying to pick it up. Now we're going to break it down. It's coming in. This hand is here. This hand is here. So if I miss, I still get a second block. So watch it again. All right, then I come in. 1, 2, 1, 2. I can pull this hand right back. Come in with a slap. Pretty easy to see. You can do it with two hands. Comes in, two hand deflection, elbow, strike again. So all these variations you can do with the pass, all right? Good, now let's take a look at destructive blocking. In destructive blocking, you try and hold it in the spot and strike it at the same time. So the punch comes in, and I'm blocking here and driving in, trying to destroy the elbow. Or the punch comes in, and going towards the bicep, where this nerve goes right in here between the bicep and the tricep. Another type of destructive block is to hit it as hard as you can, snap in, bone on muscle or bone on bone, all right? So those are your destructive blocks. All right, let's practice right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a block here, an elliptical on the same side with a destructive punch. So we're going 1, 2. Good, so we're blocking and countering, but we're countering not to the body or head of the individual, but to their arm. So it allows you to keep distance. So let's add in a little bit of footwork here as we're striking. Good, nice. Good job. One more, please. Good, awesome, well done. All right, let's go to another strike, which is completely yielding. So a big hook comes in, double forearm, not yielding. Definitely a block, maybe even destructive. Now the same punch comes in, and I yield with it. I have my hand up so that I don't get hurt, but I'm flowing with it. It allows me now to be into an arm bar or some other move to control and then to escape. All right, let's go now to nerve bundle striking on our blocks. These ones, typically you take the shortcut. They're taking the highway because the highway has to go where it goes. You're going by the way the crow flies. So in comes a circular punch, and I'm just going straight in. And I'm going to try and hit where it ties in between the muscles, the pec and the shoulder and bicep, at nerve bundle strike there. And it can be nice and light, where you're just hitting and then backing off, okay? So that's one area for a nerve bundle strike. what my instructor used to do to me all the time, which I really hated, was he did a one knuckle nerve bundle strike on my elbow. So we'll do this slowly. It's from a straight punch. So it's 1, 2, right there. And he was terribly accurate, just horribly accurate. And he just caught me here, and I pulled back my arm, and it was difficult to continue. All right, thanks everybody. We're just going to go into a philosophy session, but first we'll bow out. Sho, chie, kani, chi, makto jambi, makto shisha. Eyes open. Well done, everybody. Please feel free to stay sitting or to stretch. And thank you for joining us today. Please remember to log in your hours. Thank you, Instructor Brad, for your training, which will help us when we're working on setting up test lists for people. We do not test anybody above ground, so they have to do a test when all this is over and we don't have to do any more social distancing. Anyway, thank you. Today for our philosophy, I just wanted to go into aspects about why philosophy. And besides the obvious why not, it's kind of like why climb the mountain, because it's there. Philosophy can also be something that I find is just helps to engage your mind, but also it equally engages your heart. So it's hard to do philosophy without combining both your affective, what we call our affective domain, empathy, compassion, your desire to be honest, your desire to contribute, all those aspects, those human aspects, which make you a very social, community-based creature, along with the logic of the brain, right? And so when you start to look at philosophy, you're kind of trying to capture, in my belief, you're trying to capture kind of the whole essence of that. So to me, philosophy is a study of wisdom traditions. It's concepts and ideas. Like just a simple idea that I didn't know for 20 or more years when I was growing up was that when someone close to you gets upset, or even a complete stranger, they get upset with you, that you don't necessarily have to get upset too. You know, just that concept, that idea that you don't have to fall into the drama that another person is playing out. And what I mean by a drama is that when things go wrong in our life, we don't necessarily have to get off center, uncaring, rude, obnoxious, angry, destructive, walking around like a bull in a china shop, destroying everything because things didn't go our way. We start to learn that there's other ways of behaving, all right? And so that's just a concept in itself. When you know it intellectually, it makes total sense. Yeah, things didn't go my way. I don't need to act rude to other people or cruel. I can just be myself and acknowledge that I'm maybe disappointed, all right, that things didn't go my way. But I don't have to get caught up in the big story and drama of it. So when we look at a basic philosophical concept, you can understand that up here intellectually, but you also need to know it and have practiced it and try and make it as part of your life with your affective domain. Again, empathy, compassion, understanding, patience, all the traits that we look for in other people that we admire, that make it easy to be with them, that allow us to learn from them and them from us, is that wisdom that you're trying to apply. When wisdom is only in our heads, when it's only book knowledge, it's of little use. We can share it with other people, but people tend to learn not from what we say, but more from what we do. So all of your friends out there probably have an image of you. Sometimes we call that a cardboard cutout image. It's just an idea. I have an image of Brad, all right, Instructor Brad. And that image is more formed from the behaviors that I watch and observe with Instructor Brad than what's coming out of his mouth, right?
So it's a good thing too. So it's, no. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. Again, philosophy for me is a study of wisdom, and wisdom applied is being loving. Have a great day. Namaste.